That's right. That's going to be our topic for today. 7 travel photography tips for beginners. If you are one of them, stay tuned. Hello guys, welcome to my channel Shoot Travel Talk with Prathamesh. This is going to be all about travel photography related contents. So if you are looking out for such options, kindly look out for subscription below. With over the experience of 5 years, I have experienced that travel photography is one of the hardest genres in the industry, and probably if you are one of them who are looking out for learning curves of travel photographer, probably this video is for you. So let's jump in right away towards tip sections. Travel photography is something that needs serious attention. If you are trying to be a travel photographer, it asks for a research. So one of my first tips would be research your destinations well in advance. What I mean to say is not just find out that where you want to go. That's not researching. Find out that what are the places that you want to visit and cover as a story. Find out that what are the timings available for that. Are they morning venues? Are they evening venues? Are they open during the month when you are traveling? Do they have any opening times, closing times? Do they have any holidays? You have to look out for these options well ahead of time. 500px is one of that platform where you would be able to find out destinations and informations about destinations. You would be having you would get an idea of how the particular destinations looks, what are the angles from where you would be able to shoot that particular place. At the same time, you would be able to interact with the photographers. You would be able to speak with them and talk with them and ask for the suggestions for when to travel, how to travel, kind of stuff. So most of the part can be done through 500px. At the same time, I would suggest you to watch YouTube content which will give you a video or a cinematic view of that particular place and will give you um, directions and angles of that particular place, if that looks good in mornings or evenings, or during what month that particular traveler went out for. So these kind of things you have to research well in advance. It's really important. If you are on a photography project or if you want to shoot that particular environment as a photographer, you should be focusing completely on photography, right? So I would really recommend you to book your stays in advance. But what I mean to say is that the way you are researching your destinations, you have to research your stay options as well. So if you are planning out for a few landscape locations which are early morning or late evening locations, you have to find out for solutions or stay options around that, which would help you to plan your travel days effectively. Visit souvenir shops on day 1. What? Prathamesh, you're asking us to visit souvenir shop on day 1? Yes guys, I'm asking you to visit souvenir shops on day 1. Let me tell you, and probably it will make sense to you, and probably you will start thinking that yes, it was right. So stay tuned towards the video. If you're traveling out to souvenir shops, what the first thing that you have to pick out is postcards. Look out for postcards with amazing pictures all around, and just turn the postcard around and you will find out the destination name or the photographer's name around there. So what you can do is your final research. After reaching out to the destinations, before starting your shootout, you can do your final research by looking out at postcards which are famous pictures of those places, and probably you would be able to nail down a few more destinations or few more unique places from that particular place. You can start interactions with souvenir shop owners and find out that from where they have got these postcards, if they know any photographer around in the town who can help you to shoot and take you to the places. So these are the things that famous travel photographers look out for. Yes. So my next tip would be use your afternoons to advantage. Now I know that as a photographer, or we know as a photographers, that I love to shoot early mornings, late evenings, and we kind of get very lazy in afternoons because we wake up early or we get very less sleep into during nights. So we try to take a rest during afternoons. But hey, hang on. If you are on a budget travel trip or on a travel trip where you would be traveling for only few days, I would suggest use your afternoons wisely. Yes, and what you can do in afternoons? Visit some monuments. Yeah, visit some architectures, visit some churches, visit some museums, start shooting interiors of these amazing places. Daily travel fixed distance. Now, why it's important for travel photographers? Well, if you're a traveler, you know you can keep on traveling and keep on exploring. But as a travel photographer, you want to plan your travel very meticulously. Um, During the research, my first tip of researching, I've told you that you have to research your destinations, and what I meant at that time is to find out and detailed out that on particular day, on individual day, which place you would like to visit most, because there are travel destinations where places like famous architectures or monuments would be closed on particular days, or some famous parks or zoos would be having closures early. So what you need to do is to have the plans ready in advance, and at the same time you have to ensure that you don't burn out yourself in a particular day out of your travel plan. So you have to have or you have to travel only limited distance in a day. Helpful gears. Yes, that's right. As a travel photographer, you don't want to have a burden of heavy gears on your back while walking miles and miles of exploration. It's really important that if you are researching your destinations properly, you would be pretty clear with an idea if your destinations have more of landscapes, more of architectures, or more of cultural vibe into that place. At the same time, you would have a clarity of a story that you would like to cover up. So just carry equipments accordingly. Carry just a couple of lenses, camera body, tripod, filters, etc., and you are good to go. Yes, that's right. Use off-peak seasons. Now, I'll make sense to this point in a little while, so stay tuned. What I am trying to say here is instead of traveling to particular destinations during seasonal periods, travel during off-peak seasons. Now, why I am saying this? Because as a travel photographer, you want to have the local vision of that particular place. You want to cover a story from locals' perspective. And guess what? When locals would be acting as a locals? Exactly, during off-peak seasons. So that's the time when you should be traveling to a particular place. Again, point 2, if you are traveling to a place into off-peak seasons, the crowd would be less. Point 3, if you are traveling to destinations during off-peak seasons, you'd be having a cost-effective tour because tickets would be cheap. At the same time, stay options would be cheap, food would be cheap, traveling around the town would be cheap. Everything would be cheap around the place, and probably you would be able to save a couple of bucks for your next travel. Alright guys, so these were my 7 travel photographic tips for beginners. If you think this video is making sense out to you, just hit the like button. I would really appreciate it. Comment, let me know what are your views, if you are liking the video, if you want any particular travel related content to be covered on this particular channel. I would be happy to consider it in your future. Um, but yeah, Shoot Travel Talk with Prathamesh is new, and it's looking out for all the suggestions and looking out for building out the community of artists all around the places. And I strongly believe in voicing out your dreams and looking out for building them out, options to build them out. So I'm on that particular journey. So if you think that I'm doing something really good, feel free to subscribe and support the cause. And till then, keep shooting, keep traveling, and keep talking with Prathamesh.